Let's face it, pedalboards get crowded. With bulky cords and a seemingly endless variety of pedals, it's not easy to get all your gear where you want it. So we're making things a little easier. Introducing D'Addario's DIY cable kit with mini plugs. Just measure the space between pedals and use the cable cutter for a clean, straight slice. Then, use the screwdriver to hand loosen the screw on the plug end. Next, take the end of the cable and insert it into the plug with a firm, twisting motion. Make sure it's fully tightened before plugging each end into the input and output jacks. For tight corners, use the cutout for up to 90 degrees of adjustment. Each D'Addario DIY pedalboard cable kit makes up to 5 top-quality custom patch cables. Turns out your board doesn't have to be so packed after all.
This is Kies for Premier Guitar, hanging out with Cherry Glazerr. Cherry Glazerr herself. Clem, how you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah,
Before we get any
totally.
further, front of house guy in Chicago, if you watch these are not tomatoes, they're cherries. Obviously for Cherry Glazerr.
They're cherries.
None of that, enough of that. Let's talk strats.
Yeah.
There seems to be some stuff missing here.
Yeah.
Fans know about it, but tell everyone else what's going on here.
Well, you know, I was describing what I wanted out of my Strat to a friend of mine, and we were on the road. We were in a hotel room in Detroit, and we decided to, on tour, totally take apart my guitar and rip everything out except for my humbucker and the volume knob, because I was only using the humbucker anyways. So I would literally tape the pickup knob
down,
like all the way down. And I was like, why am I not just ripping everything out? And so I did that, and it actually made it very, very cool sounding. It makes it more unique. It's almost like punchier, and it's a little bit louder, and the guitar itself is lighter, which is nice for how often we play.
Yeah.
So
now is
good.
that the Strat you've had for the longest time, like stuffed and ready? Is this the one that's on the cover?
yeah, this is the cover of Stuffed and Ready Guitar.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a little dirty right now.
And is that the stock pickup that came up with it? I believe it's the
It is.
Performer series, so it's the Shawbucker.
Yes.
And do you dig that humbucker or have you ever had any
man.
wishes to change it out?
I love it. I love it so much. It's like, and it works very well with my distortions. The reason why I love this guitar is because it can really handle a lot. It can handle like all of the dirty that I want to give it, and it just does really well. And then when I like want it to be like, you know, super chorusy, it's just like so smooth. So
No matter what you kind of have going on, especially when you pile the dirt and the filth on, your guitar
Yeah.
still has some like clarity. It's still
It
there.
does.
There's integrity to the notes and strings.
it does.
That's, can be lost
Yeah,
sometimes.
I love that so much about it. I'm a little bit of, I kind of don't want, I want to be the one controlling the distortion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be my guitar, I don't want it to be my amp. And that's why I love the JC120, because it's kind of a keyboard amp. It's good for me because it's just like smooth and boxy, and I like the way that solid state amps sound with my songs.
We're going to get there because this is definitely a difference even from the time that we just interviewed you in the magazine a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, how'd you get landed on the Strat? Because I've seen you maybe 2014, 2015. I've seen you with Rickenbackers and other guitars, but how did the Strat, and obviously this one in particular, become like your baby, the go-to, the number one, the cover star?
Yeah. I really love the Rickenbacker because it's kind of iconic and it's beautiful, and everybody knows it as like this kind of beautiful, iconic guitar. And mine was a vintage 66 guitar too, so it was like very, very special. But it couldn't get as gnarly as I wanted it to, and it also, because it was semi-hollow, like I was mentioning earlier, it couldn't really handle a lot of the distortions. So everything would start feeding back, and it was like a little too jangly. And I wanted something that was more like punchy and straightforward. So I tried a bunch of different guitars out, and the Strat Standard was like exactly that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And as I alluded to, you just have this guitar, so we're going to move right on to amps.
Yeah.
I've known you to be big fan of the Mark IV.
I am a big fan of the Mark IV, and I have a Mark IV, but the JC120 is my backline amp.
Oh, okay. Why don't you bring that on the road with you, like on this run?
Well, you know, I would love to. We flew, so I couldn't bring the Mesa Boogie. But I love the Mesa Boogie, but I love the JC as well. I would love to like have tour with both of them. This one is so great. I love them equally, kind of.
Do you use the modulation on this at all? I know
sometimes I do. You know what I like to do is turn the chorus on, but then I turn all of the like the speed and the depth all the way down, so you just get like a little touch of it. It can be really like. It's just like a little touch, like you can barely even really notice it.
Yeah, it definitely thickens up your sound.
So it's like... I love that. It just gives it like a little something special.
Well, that takes care of the amp, guitar. Let's talk pedals, because I know you're a pedal user now. We dig that. So let's go into it. What is probably your main pedal, or the pedal you have on the most, you would say?
I have the Blue Sky Strymon on pretty much at all times.
Just
this
a little verb.
And my vintage delay.
All right.
Yeah, this is a great vintage delay that I love. Vintage Boss delay, classic DM2. I love this sound. It sounds really good with the Blue Sky, and it's just nice for like self-explain. Yeah, it's like my favorite reverb pedal. I have reverb and delay on for every song.
And then since you just went there, at the end of that song, there's some gnarly solos. So what is the difference maker there?
I'll put the Acapulco Gold on for the end of that. So it'll be like...
I love that you keep the reverb on. I know that sometimes is like a misnomer, or not a misnomer, it's a misstep. You know, people will say don't, maybe not use reverb with fuzz, but I love that.
Oh, me too, me too. It's so good.
And what was that you just kicked on? I'm not familiar with that Empress.
Oh, this is an Empress compressor.
Do you use that?
I also keep this on for the whole show.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you dig about that and how it works with your amps?
You know, it's funny, the same friend who ripped everything out of my guitar, I was talking to him about what tone I needed another time, and he like thought about it for a minute, and then he went and got this for me as a gift. And it's like just the perfect compression. It's like, just gives it like just a little boost, a little, like a little top end, and it just kind of like squashes everything to be really nice, so nothing ever gets like lost. And it's like, the difference is like, it also makes it hella loud without like me having to turn on my amp, which is cool. So I keep it on. I like always factor it into my stage volume. Like this is like, and then.
Cool. So we kind of touched on the Blue Sky, which is an always on pedal. What is the pink pedal to the left of delay? I'm not familiar with this company.
Yeah, this is a Super Fuzz, a custom Super Fuzz that was given to me by this all-femme company out of Oakland called Low Sounds, and they make really great pedals. This says Crush the Patriarchy. It's all hand painted.
Cool.
So yeah, they just gave me an awesome phaser pedal as well.
Can we hear how this sounds?
Oh yeah, it's cool because it's got like a little bit of like an octave thing. So I can't use it for like chords. It's only for solos really. But I love it on the Stupid Fish solo.
That's pretty gnarly. It's
yeah,
spitty.
it's gnarly.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna back up things I should have done this earlier. I'm a bad journalist. There's a story about yellow picks in your drummer. You've got to tell it because it's worthy of a guitar audience that will make them laugh.
Yeah, the classic drummer, man. They don't know what they're talking about, man. They don't know anything. So, no, just kidding. But obviously, as we all know, the yellow Dunlop picks are mediums. And my drummer, Tabor, was, one day he was like, so what, do you just love yellow? And I'm like, dude, are you serious? These are mediums. This is a size that I use. He was like, oh, I thought you just liked the yellow ones. I'm like, no, dude.
I don't know if that's insulting because it's like maybe you're a girl and so that's like a color-coded thing, or just as guitarists we're drawn to the colors in general. I don't know, but yeah.
It was just so funny to me because every guitarist knows that.
Yeah.
But of course, like that small little thing, like he wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that unless you played guitar a lot.
We're in a guitar bubble. We forget that sometimes.
Totally.
So I had to bring that up. That was my bad not bringing it up earlier.
That was really funny.
Let's continue through your pedal board. You got a Bubbletron. I'm curious how that gets used within your set and songs.
I don't use it very much for the show, but I love to jam with it when I'm just jamming out with friends because it's just so freaking crazy. It's fun. It's fun with drums. My friend Miles and I one time had a jam where I was just kind of doing like funk stuff like that, and he was drumming and It's crazy. That's my favorite thing it does. It also does like flange, so like. But it's kind of mild. You could turn it up. Like a little texture.
Cool.
Yeah.
I noticed that you have the Ola, the Strymon chorus and vibrato unit. I've seen you previously with an old Boss, because you mentioned that you have affection for the old Boss vintage delay. Mm-hmm. I've seen you with the old the chorus pedal that was used, the old Boss.
Yeah,
what made you switch? Yeah, what made you switch
chorus.
to the Strymon?
Oof, the Strymon is so crazy good. It's so buttery. I really like to have a mix of vintage pedals and new pedals. I don't like being a slave to any one type of sound. I think it's cool to have, if it sounds cool to you, then it's cool. I don't think you should you shouldn't feel like you should need to do anything ever.
Oh, because it's digital or it's true bypass. If it sounds good, it sounds good.
Exactly. So I love the Ola because it's just one of the best choruses out there, I think, for sure. I use it for Daddy.
I love chorus. I know that can be seen as an 80s thing.
Yeah.
But I dig it.
Oh, it's so great. And now it's being used a lot in a lot of music.
It's a comeback.
Yeah. But it's great for stuff. Kurt used to love a mix between distortion and chorus, which is such a crazy thing to do. Yeah. I don't know what that's about, but we did that a lot on the record because it can sound very cool. What sounds good with this? Just a little bit of I love how those two pedals sound together.
Yeah, they sound like they're made together.
Yeah, totally. They complement each other well.
Now, with the knob being so huge and the gold here, do you ever dime it with your foot
all
or
the time.
control the dynamics because it's just being begged to
Yeah,
be rocked?
all the time. It's perfect for that. Boop, turn it up a little. Boop, turn it down. Never.
And I guess the last thing we haven't covered is the Westwood and how you're using that compared to the other more extreme pedals.
Yeah, so the Westwood I use for like told you. It's good for like kind of single note like jammers like. Yeah.
Sounds badass.
Thanks. I have a tendency to tune immediately after I finish like a riff.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just like, I want it to be in tune, I guess.
You're a stickler.
Yeah. It's from Carlos, our dear friend and producer. He'll make me tune after every single take. So, which I think a lot of producers do, but it got me into the habit of tuning a lot.
Well, you know, I guess you're in tune or you're not, and you better check.
Yeah, I love being in tune, man. Such a classic move, being in tune.
I couldn't say it better myself because I clearly can't talk today. Clem, thank you so much for talking here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is a treat.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching another Rig Rundown for Premier Guitar. We're with Clem. Peace out.
Peace out.